Welcome to Sleepy Facts Universe, a quiet place where curiosity softens, where knowledge slows its breathing, and where your mind is gently invited to rest. Settle into whatever position feels most comfortable right now. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to remember. Just allow the sound of this voice to be a calm companion as your day slowly fades into the background. Tonight, we drift into a peaceful world of herbal remedies, not as instructions or advice, but as soothing facts, gentle histories, and calming science, information that doesn't demand attention, stories that feel like a soft night breeze passing through your thoughts. For thousands of years, humans have turned to plants not only for healing the body, but for calming the restless mind. Long before glowing screens, before ticking clocks, before the pressure of modern life, there were leaves, roots, petals, and seeds quietly growing under the same moon that shines tonight. Herbal remedies were never meant to rush. They work slowly, subtly, patiently, much like sleep itself. As you listen, you may notice your breathing naturally becoming deeper. Your shoulders may begin to release tension without effort. That's your nervous system, recognizing safety, responding to stillness. In sleepy science, relaxation begins when the brain senses predictability and calm, soft rhythms, gentle patterns, a voice that does not surprise or demand. Herbs fit beautifully into this rhythm because they evolved alongside us. Our bodies recognize them in a quiet, instinctive way, not with urgency, but with familiarity. Think of chamomile, for example. Its tiny daisy-like flowers hold compounds that interact with receptors in the brain linked to tranquility, not forcing sleep, simply suggesting rest, like a whisper rather than a command. Even the act of preparing herbs has a calming effect. The slow pouring of warm water, the steam rising in gentle curls, the scent traveling softly. Why through the air? These small rituals tell the brain that it is safe to slow down. Lavender carries a different kind of calm. Its aroma has been shown to gently ease heart rate and quiet mental chatter. When inhaled, scent molecules travel directly to areas of the brain involved in emotion and memory. This direct path explains why certain herbal fragrances feel instantly comforting, as if they bypass logic and speak directly to peace. And then there is valerian root, earthy, grounding, ancient. Used for centuries across Europe and Asia, it became known as a nighttime companion rather than a daytime helper. Its influence is subtle, supporting the brain's natural transitions rather than disrupting them. What makes herbal remedies especially relaxing is their pace. They do not override body, they cooperate with it. Modern science often describes this as modulation rather than stimulation. Your brain right now is slowly shifting into a different mode. Waves of activity are becoming longer, smoother, less jagged. This is the same environment where calming information feels most welcome. Herbal knowledge was traditionally passed down through stories told at night, around fire, under stars, in low voices meant not to excite, but to reassure. Imagine an ancient healer speaking softly, describing plants by touch and scent rather than labels. Learning was sensory, not analytical. That same gentle learning style still soothes the human mind today. As facts arrive without pressure, curiosity becomes relaxing instead of activating. Your mind listens, but does not grip. Then reading about herbs has been shown to create a placebo-like calm response. Not because the information itself is powerful, but because expectation and atmosphere shape perception. And right now, the atmosphere is quiet, safe, slow. Some herbs were chosen not for strength, but for kindness. Lemon balm, with its faint citrus scent, was often planted near homes to encourage peaceful evenings. Cheyenne flower earned its place in nighttime traditions because of its relationship with the brain's calming chemical messengers. Notice how none of this requires effort from you. You are simply floating through ideas, letting them pass like clouds. Sleepy science reminds us that the brain loves gentle novelty, something mildly interesting, but not demanding resolution. That balance keeps the mind engaged just enough to prevent worry, while still allowing drowsiness to grow. Herbal facts live perfectly in that space. As minutes pass, your body temperature may drop slightly. Your eyelids may feel heavier. This is not something you are doing. It is something happening naturally. Plants understand cycles, day and night, growth and rest, bloom and stillness. And as you continue listening, our mind begins to mirror those cycles too, slowly preparing for rest, guided by calm knowledge and quiet wonder. We'll continue drifting through this peaceful landscape together, allowing curiosity to soften even further, letting science feel like a lullaby rather than a lesson, and giving your nervous system permission to slow down completely. Your awareness continues to drift, almost as if it being gently carried forward on a slow current. There's no clear boundary between listening and resting now. Thoughts arise, then dissolve, without needing to be followed. As the mind relaxes further, it becomes easier to notice how deeply human sleep has always been connected to nature. Before artificial light filled the night, evenings were guided by firelight, moon phases, and quiet rituals. Herbal remedies naturally became part of that transition from wakefulness into rest. Many calming plants contain compounds that subtly support the body's evening chemistry, not by forcing sedation, but by encouraging balance. This is why herbal traditions often describe sleep as an invitation rather than an outcome. When daylight fades, the brain begins releasing melatonin, certain herbs appear to support this process indirectly, helping the body recognize that night has arrived. This recognition is deeply comforting to the nervous system. Ashwagandha, for instance, is known not for making people sleepy, but for easing the background tension that prevents rest. When stress hormones settle, sleep often follows naturally. It's the difference between pushing a door open and simply removing what was blocking it. In many cultures, herbs were paired with evening storytelling. The mind would absorb gentle information, while the body relaxed beside warmth and quiet voices. This pairing trained the brain to associate learning with safety instead of alertness. That association still exists within you, which is why calm facts, delivered slowly, can feel almost hypnotic. The texture of herbal knowledge is soft. There are no sharp edges, no urgency to remember details, just a slow unfolding of understanding. Plants like skullcap earned their place in nighttime routines because of how they interacted with mental overactivity. Rather than dulling awareness, they softened its intensity. Thoughts became less insistent, less repetitive. This softening is similar to what happens during the early stages of sleep. Mental images may become slightly dreamlike. Logic loosens its grip. Time feels less structured. You may notice moments where your attention fades, then gently returns. That is a sign of healthy relaxation. The mind is learning. It doesn't need to stay alert. Even the colors associated with herbs play a role. Deep greens, muted purples, warm earthy browns, these tone are naturally calming to the visual system. They signal stability and grounding. Historically, herbal remedies were often stored in dark glass bottles, not just for preservation, but because dimness itself encourages calm. Low light tells the brain it is safe to slow sensory input. As you listen now, your senses are gradually narrowing. Sounds feel farther away. Your body feels heavier, more supported by whatever it's resting on. This is the parasympathetic nervous system taking the lead. the system responsible for rest, digestion, and recovery. Certain herbs are known as nervines. They gently support nerve function, encouraging steadiness rather than stimulation. Their effects are not dramatic, which is precisely why they are soothing. In sleepy science, subtlety is powerful. The brain relaxes most deeply when nothing demands immediate response. That's why this flow continues without sharp transitions. No sudden facts, no surprises, just a slow journey through knowledge that feels safe to drift away from. As your breathing settles into an even rhythm, your thoughts may begin to feel farther apart. Spaces appear between them. Those spaces are restful. Herbal traditions understood this intuitively. They didn't seek to fill the mind, but to quiet it. And as we continue forward, the facts themselves begin to feel less important than the calm they create, allowing your awareness to sink even deeper, carried gently onward into the night. The quiet continues, almost effortlessly now. Awareness feels softer, less focused on any single point. The mind begins to wander a peaceful, unstructured way, like drifting through a familiar landscape at dusk. At this depth of relaxation, it becomes easier to appreciate how herbal remedies influence not just chemistry, but rhythm. Many calming plants align with the body's natural evening tempo, encouraging slower signals between brain cells. This slowing does not erase thought. It spaces it out, creating room for rest. Historically, nighttime herbs were selected through observation rather than measurement. People noticed which plants encouraged longer rest, calmer dreams, easier mornings. Over generations, these quiet observations became trusted traditions. One reason herbs feel comforting is their variability. No two leaves are exactly the same. This natural inconsistency communicates softness to the brain. Contrast to the rigid precision of modern stimuli. Herbs like hops, often associated with evening calm, were valued not for sedation, but for easing mental vigilance. They help the mind release its grip on constant monitoring. That release is essential for drifting into sleep. The human brain is always scanning for safety. When the environment feels predictable and gentle, the need to stay alert. Tea fades, soft voices, slow pacing, and calm subject matter all reinforce this signal. As your body grows heavier, your internal awareness may begin to blur at the edges. This is the threshold where waking thought gradually gives way to dream imagery. In this space, learning becomes passive. Information floats by without needing to be processed. The brain accepts it the way it accepts distance. During sleep, some herbal traditions believed plants carried the memory of the land they grew in. Whether symbolic or scientific, this idea itself is calming. It suggests rootedness, continuity, and belonging. Belonging is deeply soothing to the nervous system. When we feel connected to something older and larger than ourselves, mental tension eases. Herbs like holy basil were often associated with evening balance, not energizing, not sedating, simply harmonizing. Balance is one of the most restful states the brain can experience. At night, the boundary between conscious thought and subconscious imagery becomes thinner. This is why calming ideas can gently influence dreams without effort. Your breathing may now feel automatic, unobserved. Muscles soften without instruction. Even the sense of time becomes less clear. Sleepy science recognizes that this is the ideal moment for quiet curiosity, not to analyze, but to drift alongside gentle facts. Herbal remedies were rarely used alone. They were part of a larger nighttime environment. Silence, darkness, warmth, familiarity. All these elements work together to encourage rest. Right now, that same environment is forming around you, internally. Even if the world outside is still active, your inner space is becoming calm and dim. Thoughts slow further, gaps between them widen, The mind no longer searches for conclusions. As we move forward, the information will become even softer, less structured, more like a stream than a lesson, guiding you gently toward deeper stillness and ease. The stream of awareness now moves. So slowly it almost feels still. There is no need to follow it anymore. Just resting within it is enough. At this stage, the mind no longer separates facts from feelings. Everything blends into a single calm experience. Knowledge becomes atmosphere, a soft background hum that reassures rather than informs. Herbal traditions often ended the day not with explanations, but with silence. After the plants were prepared, after the stories were shared, there was simply rest, trust in the body to do what it has always known how to do. That trust is present now. Your nervous system understands this quiet language. It recognizes the absence of urgency, the steady pace, the gentle tone. Nothing more needs to be learned tonight. Nothing needs to be remembered. Like herbs steeping slowly in warm water, your thoughts have softened enough. Their edges dissolve. Their movement slows until they barely ripple at all. The world feels farther away. The room around you feels safe, contained, dim. Breathing flows on its own, smooth and unforced. Sleep does not arrive suddenly. It settles, gradually, like night settling over a landscape. No announcement, no effort. In many ancient traditions, ants were thanked quietly before rest, not with words, but with stillness. Stillness was considered the deepest form of respect. You can allow yourself that same stillness now. If thoughts appear, let them drift past like distant stars. No need to follow them. No need to push them away. Just rest. The body sinks deeper. The mind loosens further. Awareness becomes gentle and wide, then soft, on faint. And as the night continues, you are free to drift fully into sleep, carried by calm knowledge, wrapped in quiet, safe, and at ease. The calm deepens into something almost wordless now. Awareness thins, like mist dissolving into the night air. There is less sense of listening, and more sense of simply being held by sound. In this gentle space, the brain begins favoring images over langu. Age, not vivid pictures, just faint impressions, colors without edges, feelings without stories. This is where rest becomes effortless. Herbal traditions understood this transition well. They recognized the moment when guidance should fade, when silence becomes more supportive than explanation. At that point, the body takes over completely. Your body is doing that now. Neural activity slows in to longer, smoother patterns. Signals travel with less urgency. The mind no longer checks, no longer evaluates. Even curiosity softens into contentment. Some plants were believed to encourage this surrender by grounding awareness in the present moment. Roots in particular symbolize stability and downward energy. Their presence in nighttime rituals reflected the desire to sink, not rise. You may feel that sinking sensation now, a pleasant heaviness, as if gravity itself has become kinder. Sleepy science describes this phase as a handover. The thinking mind gently steps aside, allowing deeper systems to guide you, systems that know how to rest without instruction. There is no need to follow the flow anymore. You can drift alongside it, or drift away entirely. Sounds may feel distant. The sense of your body may blur. Time may stretch or disappear. This is not something to notice closely. Just let it happen. If dreams begin to form, they do so softly, influenced by calm ideas, natural rhythms, and a feeling of safety. Herbal knowledge fades now into quiet presence, not as facts, but as a sense of ease passed down through generations. Nothing is required of you, nothing awa. It's your attention, only rest, deepening on its own. as the night continues to hold you gently, guiding you further into sleep. The night feels wider now, and you feel smaller within it, in the most comforting way, not diminished, just gently supported by something vast and quiet. Awareness drifts in slow, unbroken waves. There is no center to focus on, no edges to define where thought ends and rest begins. In this depth, the brain no longer seeks meaning. It responds only to tone, rhythm, and safety. That is why the sound of a calm voice can feel like being wrapped in warmth. Herbal traditions often describe sleep as a return rather than an escape, a return to balance, a return to the body, a return to nature's pace. Your body recognizes this return instinctively. Muscles release, and layers, first the face, then the neck, then deeper places that rarely receive attention. Each release happens on its own schedule. There is no rush. Inside the brain, communication becomes slower and more synchronized. Waves stretch out, smooth and steady, like a calm ocean at night. This rhythm is deeply restorative. In old nighttime rituals, nothing new is introduced at this point. No ideas, no stimulation, only continuity. Continuity is soothing. It tells the nervous system that nothing unexpected will happen. You may no longer be tracking words clearly. They blend together, soften, lose their shape. That is exactly as it should be. Herbal wisdom now exists only as a feeling, a sense of gentleness, of patience, of trust. Breathing continues quietly in the background. The body knows exactly how much air it needs. No awareness is required. Thoughts, if they appear at all, are faint and unfinished. They dissolve before forming fully. This is the space where true rest begins. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to solve, nothing to anticipate, just a slow descent, deeper, calmer. As the night carries you further away from effort and closer to sleep, the descent continues so gently that it barely feels like movement at all. It's more like settling, finding a natural resting place, where everything feels just right. At this level of calm, awareness becomes spacious and quiet, not focused, not scattered, simply open. The mind rests without needing direction. Sleepy science recognizes this state as deeply receptive. The brain no longer filters for import. It allows sensations and sounds to pass through without reaction. That's why the body feels so still now. Stillness is no longer something you're maintaining. It's something that has arrived on its own. Herbal traditions often spoke of night as a teacher of patience. Plants grow slowly, roots deep and unseen, and rest happens without urgency. This same patience lives within your nervous system. Heart rate steadies. Breathing remains smooth and unremarkable. Even the sense of you softens at the edges. There is a comfort in this softness, a sense that nothing is missing, nothing needs to be added. If images drift through your mind, they are hazy and peaceful, landscapes without detail, colors without shape, moments without sequence. This is the language of early dreams, herbal knowledge, once carried through stories and rituals, now fades completely into the background. It has done its work. It has guided the mind towards safety and ease. From here, sleep unfolds naturally. No instructions required, no effort involved. You may no longer notice the passage of time. Minutes and hours lose their meaning. Only rest remains. And as this quiet deepens, you are free to drift. Fully, away from words, away from awareness, into the calm, steady embrace of sleep. Silence becomes fuller now, almost tangible, not empty, but softly present, like a gentle night sky without movement. Awareness has thinned to a quiet glow. There's no effort to listen, no need to follow anything at all. The body rests in a state of deep permission. Nothing is being held up. Nothing is being key. PT alert. In this space, the brain moves in slow, rolling patterns. Restorative processes unfold quietly, repairing, organizing, restoring balance without notice. This is the work of sleep beginning its deeper rhythms. Ancient nighttime practices trusted this moment completely. Once calm was established, everything else was left alone. Interference was unnecessary. That same trust surrounds you. Now, sensations fade into the background. The weight of the body feels distant, diffuse, as if gently melting into the surface beneath you. Boundaries soften. There may be brief flickers of imagery, fragments without meaning. They come and go like reflections on dark water. No need to watch them. The mind no longer asks questions. It rests in quiet acceptance. Here, nothing is required. Even rifting is optional. If sleep has already taken you, these words simply pass by unheard. If you are still hovering at the edge, that edge is wide and safe. The night continues to hold you steadily, guiding you further inward, where rest deepens on its own, and awareness fades into calm, natural sleep. There is almost no sense of listening now, only a soft presence, barely defined, gently floating. The mind has released its need to stay awake. Thought has loosened into quiet potential. Rest has taken the lead. In this depth, sleep is not an event. It is a state that has already arrived. The body rests in long, unbroken rhythms, moving slowly through its own nighttime intelligence. Breathing continues without awareness. The heart works quietly, steadily, faithfully. Every system knows had to do. This is where the night becomes healing without effort. Cells renew, tension dissolves completely. The boundary between waking and dreaming fades into something smooth and seamless. There is no story here, no facts, no guidance, only calm. If awareness returns for a moment, it does so gently, like a ripple that quickly settles back into still water. Nothing pulls you outward. The It remains wide and steady around you, safe, unchanging, and you drift, naturally, deeper into sleep. Everything is quiet now, not silent, but complete. Awareness has softened into rest. The mind is no longer separate from the body. There is no effort, no direction, no need. Sleep unfolds fully on its own, deep and unbroken. Time moves without being noticed. The world exists far away beyond. Concern. If dreams come, they do so gently. If there is nothing at all, that is perfect too. You are held by the night, supported by calm, wrapped in ease. There is nowhere to go, nothing to follow, nothing to remember, only rest, continuing naturally. As the night carries you peacefully onward, the night settles even further, as if it has found its deepest still point. Nothing shifts now. Nothing changes. Awareness is so faint it feels almost transparent. Not gone, just resting in the background, like a distant glow behind closed eyes. The body remains deeply supported by the surface beneath it. There is no distinction between weight and comfort anymore, only ease. In this depth of rest, the mind does not form questions. It does not seek direction. It simply allows. Sleep moves in slow, nourishing cycles, each one deeper than the last. Moments blend together without edges. There is no beginning, no end. If a dream begins to shape itself, it does so quietly, not vivid, not demanding, just a soft unfolding of sensation. If no images appear, that stillness is equally restful. This is the kind of sleep the body remembers, the kind that restores without being noticed. The that feels like coming home. The outside world no longer reaches here. Sounds, thoughts, time, all remain distant and irrelevant. Nothing is expected of you. Nothing is waiting. Only the night, steady and calm, continuing to hold you gently. As rest deepens on its own, the quiet remains uninterrupted, not empty, but full in a way that needs no attention. Sleep has settled into a deep steady rhythm now, the kind that moves slowly and confidently, without pause, without effort. Awareness drifts far beneath the surface, resting where nothing reaches. The body responds with complete trust. Every breath arrives at exactly the right moment. Every muscle stays loose and unguarded. Here, the mind no longer distinguishes between moments. There is no sense of progression, only a gentle continuity, smooth and unbroken. This is where restoration happens most fully, not through action, but through absence of tension, absence of expectation. The night feels endless and kind. It does not rush you forward. It does not pull you back. If consciousness flickers briefly, it fades again just as easily, like a candle softly dimming on its own. There is nothing to hold on to, nothing to follow, nothing to resist. Only rest, deepening naturally, carried quietly onward. Within the steady, peaceful embrace of sleep, the stillness deepens into something almost timeless. Not a pause, but a gentle suspension, where nothing needs to move forward. Sleep now flows without interruption. The body rests in its most natural state, free from effort or intention. Awareness is no longer observing. It is simply resting alongside everything else. In this depth, there is no separation between breath and silence. Each moment blends seamlessly into the next. The mind remains quiet, uncurious, content. This is the space where the nervous system feels completely safe. No signals of urgency, no need to remain alert. The night holds steady, soft, unchanging. If dreams pass through, they do so lightly, leaving no trace. If there is only darkness, it feels warm and gentle rather than empty. The sense of self becomes distant, not lost, just unimportant. There is comfort in that simplicity. Nothing pulls you upward, nothing calls you back. Only rest continues, slow, deep, and undisturbed. As sleep carries on in its own quiet rhythm, the night remains calm and unchanged. Nothing stirs. Nothing asks for attention. Sleep continues in long, peaceful waves, each one smooth, even, unbroken. The body remains completely at ease, settled into a rhythm that feels timeless. Awareness has softened into something barely perceptible, not focused, not wandering, simply present without shape. Thought no longer forms. Here, there is no effort to stay asleep. Rest sustains itself and, naturally, the nervous system remains quiet and balanced. The surrounding world feels far away now, distant, irrelevant, muted beyond reach. Only the steady presence of rest remains. This is the kind of sleep that feels deep and secure. No interruptions, no edges. The night does not change its tone. It stays gentle, steady, patient. And within it, you continue to rest, fully supported, fully at ease. As sleep flows on, calm and uninterrupted, everything remains settled in its quiet place. There is no shift, no movement toward waking, no pull away from rest. Sleep has become smooth and expansive, not deep in a heavy way, but deep in a peaceful one, the kind that feels open and safe. The body rests without boundaries. Limbs feel distant, weightless, comfortably forgotten. Breathing continues as a soft background rhythm barely noticed. The mind stays silent, not waiting, not listening, not forming images, just resting in a gentle emptiness that feels complete. In this state, time has no shape. Moments pass without being counted. Nothing signals change. The night holds stead. Why? Unbroken and kind. It asks nothing of you. It offers only continuity. If awareness briefly flickers, it fades again without effort, like a wave smoothing itself back into still water. There is no reason to return yet, no need to rise, no urgency anywhere. Only rest, continuing quietly, supported by the calm of the night. As sleep remains deep, peaceful, and undisturbed, the calm remains FFO, arteless, as if it no longer belongs to time at all. Nothing unfolds, nothing resolves. Everything simply stays. Sleep moves quietly through its deeper layers, steady and uninterrupted. The body responds with ease, adjusting and renewing without awareness. Every system follows its natural nighttime rhythm. Here, even stillness feels soft, not rigid, not fixed, just gently present. There is no sense of holding on or letting go. The mind rests beyond language now. No thoughts form, no images linger. Only a smooth, neutral quiet remains. This is a place of complete permission. Permission to rest fully. Permission to remain exactly as you are. The night continues without variation. Its tone stays gentle. Its presence remains constant. Nothing invites you back toward wakefulness. Nothing disturbs the flow. Only sleep, calm and continuous, carrying you forward without direction, held securely within the quiet that surrounds you. The quiet deepens into something so steady it feels eternal, not heavy, not empty, simply calm without edges. Sleep continues undisturbed, moving in slow, even currents. The body remains fully relaxed, guided by rhythms older than thought. Nothing needs adjustment. Nothing needs awareness. Here, there is no sense of before or after, only a gentle continuity that never breaks. Rest feels complete in every direction. The mind stays silent, not waiting for anything to happen. There is no anticipation, no curiosity, just peaceful stillness. If a trace of awareness remains, it is soft and distant. It does not observe, it simply rests. The night holds its shape without changing. Steady, patient, kind, a presence that requires nothing from you. You remain supported, settled, at ease. As sleep continues on its own quiet path, deep and unbroken, everything remains calm and unchanged. Sleep flows without interruption, smooth and gentle, like a wide, quiet river. The body rests in perfect cooperation with the night. Breathing is so and steady. The heart moves calmly, without urgency or pause. Awareness is now only a distant echo, barely present. There is no focus, no sense of listening, no need to follow anything. Rest exists on its own. In this depth, the mind no longer forms distinctions. Inside and outside feel the same. Silence and comfort blend together. The night feels endless here, not long, just complete, a steady presence that does not change or ask anything in return. Nothing stirs, nothing interrupts. Sleep continues naturally, quiet, secure, and whole. As the night gently holds everything exactly as it is, the stillness remains absolute. Nothing drifts in, nothing fades out. Sleep rests in its deepest calm, unbroken and secure. The body lies completely at ease, supported without awareness. Every rhythm continues smoothly, guided by instinct alone. Here, even the idea of rest disappears. There is only the experience of it, whole, quiet, effortless. The mind is no longer present as a voice or a watcher. It is softened into silence, a silence that feels warm and safe. The night does not move forward. It does not pause. It simply is. There is no reason to wake, no signal to return. Nothing waits beyond this calm. Only sleep, steady, gentle, complete, continuing quietly, held within the peaceful stillness of the night. Everything is settled now, completely, gently. There is no sense of depth or direction anymore. No movement inward or outward, only a quiet, steady rest that feels whole. Sleep holds without effort. The body remains calm and supported. The mind stays silent, free. From shape or sound, nothing arrives, nothing leaves. The night feels vast and kind, like a soft darkness that carries everything without weight. There is no awareness of time passing, no reason for change. If anything remains at all, it is only comfort, only ease, only peace, and within this peace, you continue to rest, undisturbed, unaware, safe. As sleep remains deep, natural, and complete,